guys, it's Rachel here, and this is now my 6th attempt at filming this video. The first 2 attempts were I was going to film a book haul, and then I didn't have all the books that I needed, so I went ahead and waited. The 3rd attempt, I filmed a 30-minute video, and my camera deleted it. The 4th attempt, I was in the middle of filming, and my camera said it could not record. Same with the 5th attempt, so now this is my 6th attempt, and I am hoping on all that is holy that I can make it through this book haul, because if not, I don't know how much willpower I'm going to have to continue to talk about the same like 22 books 6 times. So as you can see, I have a book haul for you guys today. I know I said I was going on a book buying ban, but I have just accepted the fact that I need all the books. So I am pretty excited to show you guys these books. I have like 22 books to show you guys. One of them is a box set. So let's get this party started. So the first book that I have for you guys is going to be The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. Now I'm not 100% sure what this book is about, other than the fact that it's about a high school student named Lenny, and Lenny's very close with her sister, and her sister passes away, and she finds comfort in a new boy in town and the ex of her now dead sister. I have heard really good things about this book, especially from Whitney from Witty Novels, so I am looking forward to picking this one up. The next book that I have is going to be Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. I have heard really great things about this book as well, especially from Reagan from Proust Project and Jessie from Jessie the Reader. I know that Reagan says that she went into this book not knowing a whole lot about what this book was about, so she thought it was best to go that way. So I have not read the synopsis in the back, but I trust her and Jessie's opinion on books, so I am really excited to read this. The next book I have is going to be Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and let's just take a moment to look at Pierce Brown. He's a good looking guy. I have been wanting to get this book for a really long time, except I have just never been able to justify purchasing the hardcover edition. It's like 25 bucks, and I am really stingy, so I've been waiting, and I actually didn't even know that this book was coming out in paperback, so I went ahead and picked it up when I saw it at Walmart for like 8 bucks. I'm really excited. This is like a dystopian world ish. I know that this is follows characters that are on Mars, and our main character, or it's divided into colors. I know that the people are colors, and our main character is a red, and for his entire life he has been underneath the surface of Mars, thinking that he is preparing the surface for the colonization of Mars. And then he finds out that in reality the surface of Mars has already been colonized, and that the Golds, the most rich people, are actually living already on the surface of Mars, and his entire life he's been working to basically make their lives better, and he decides to rebel and wants to take revenge. I am really excited to read this book. I would read you the first page like I have done in the freaking 3 other filmings of this video that I have done, but I am kind of tired of reading it. It is really great though, and I highly recommend this. I already know I'm going to love it, and it's probably going to be in my another installment of underrated books. The next book I have for you guys is going to be The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan. I can't remember who I heard this book about from, so I can't insert them, but I'm really excited to read this book. I know that this is like adult fiction. This follows a group of people that are going on a boat to New York in 1914 at the brink of a war in Europe. On their way to New York, the boat capsizes and it sinks, and all these survivors are left on this one lifeboat. Now the people on the lifeboat know that this boat cannot sustain holding this many people, this much weight, so they must decide who will live and who has to get off the lifeboat. I'm very excited to read this. I am sure it will be an emotional read, and I can't wait to get to it. The next book that I have is going to be The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I am also very excited to read this. I had a mass market paperback edition, and it was the movie tie-in edition with Viggo Mortensen on it. Every time I hear about this book, especially from like Reddit, it is always mentioned as being one of the most depressing books that someone has ever read. I know that this is like post-apocalyptic, or this is an apocalyptic book about a father and son who are living in a world that is pretty much ended, and there are cannibals, and they're just trying to survive. I've heard this book is like hopeless, and Cormac McCarthy is the master of writing books like that, so I can't wait to get to this one. The next book is going to be The Bees by Lane Paul, and I'm really excited to read this. So I saw this on Jillian from Book and Nerdy's channel, and by the way, if you guys don't watch Jillian, I highly recommend you watch her. She is fantastic. I love Jillian so much, and her book hauls are like book to royalty. They're fantastic. I always like end up buying like books from her book hauls, so this is the one that I picked up the most recently. This, I've heard that when I saw her mention it, was like a post-apocalyptic book and told in the perspective of bees, so I am looking very forward to this. The next book I waited for a month to get before I finally got it, and that's going to be Landline by Rainbow Rowell. So I've been waiting for this book for like not a month, because this book didn't come out until like July 15th, but I've been waiting for this book for a long time, and I am very excited to now own it. So I bought obviously the UK edition. I bought it on the Book Depository, and I waited for like 2 weeks for this book to reach me, and now I have it. Now, I got it from the Book Depository because the hardcover edition was cheaper than the US Amazon edition. It was cheaper than the Book Depository US hardcover edition, and obviously it was like $14, like 60 cents, with free shipping from the Book Depository. I know that when I mentioned I was getting this edition, Juhaina from Magi Bookshelf mentioned, hey, just so you know, this book is smaller than your typical YA hardcover, and I was like, oh, it's okay. I looked at it, and it is quite a bit smaller than your typical US YA hardcover edition, but I'm okay with it. I love this cover, I love this spine, I love the actual spine of the book itself. This is really pretty, and I can't wait to read it. If you don't know what this book is about, this is a story of a main character, a woman who her and her husband have been together for quite some time. They have children. She is feeling, her and her husband are feeling like the spark that was in their marriage is now faded, and she is thinking that they're on the brink of divorce. Her family goes on a vacation, and she finds out that she is unable to go because of work, so she stays behind, and she's thinking that that's pretty much it, until she finds a way to communicate with her husband of the past through phone calls, and that ends up rekindling her feelings for him, and the story should take off from there. I'm very excited to read this, and I will be reading this very soon. The next book, there's two things I have are going to be mangas. So I have Fruit Baskets by Natsuki Takaya. I know that Katie from Chapter Stacks loves this manga series. I have not heard really anything about it. I just know that this is like a romantic-y type manga. I only picked up the first edition or first volume, which is what I normally do with graphic novels and mangas, because I get nervous that I'm not going to like it, and then I've spent all that money on just all the volumes. So I went ahead and picked up the first volume, and I'm excited to read this one. I also picked up Bakuman Volume 1, and this is going to be by Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata, and these I know that Jessie the reader really loves Bakuman, so I went ahead and picked this one up. If I'm correct on this one, this is about two main characters who are trying to become manga artists. So I am looking very forward to this. Keeping in theme with books with pictures on them, I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Now, I really like the hardcover edition of this book. However, I saw this one for $5 on Amazon, so I went ahead and picked it up. It is still just as beautiful, though. It still has a beautiful inside flaps, just like the hardcover version of this book. This book I know is about a young boy whose mother is battling cancer, and every night when he goes to sleep, his nightmares or the monsters talk to him. I've heard this is a very sad book, but I am looking very forward to it. The pictures in this book are stunning, and I can't wait to pick this one up. Next, I have Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I have already read this and absolutely loved it. The only reason I didn't pick up the second two volumes is because, like I said, I don't like picking up all the volumes that are available for a book if I don't like it, because then I'm going to feel like I wasted my money. But that did not happen with Saga. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Took me about an hour to read it. It was fantastic. This follows the story of our two main characters who are from different worlds, and they fall in love, and they have a child, and now they are pretty much deserters, and on the run, trying to survive, and this is their story. I loved this. The artwork for this is beautiful. It's so stunning, and I will definitely be picking up the second and third volumes, and hopefully I will be doing it before the fourth volume comes out, and supposedly is going to come out in September. I will just advise to my younger viewers that this is a very, very mature graphic novel, and this is probably the most mature graphic novel that I've read thus far. I highly recommended it though. I highly loved it, and I highly recommend it if you are looking for something that is very quick and very enjoyable. The next two books are going to be On a Pale Horse and Bearing an Hourglass, both by Pierce Anthony. Now, Pierce Anthony is a fantasy writer, and a very famous fantasy writer at that, and he wrote this Incarnations of Immortality book series. Now, I had owned On a Pale Horse many years ago, and I lent it to my boyfriend at the time, and he ended up loving them, and he ended up keeping all 5 books. And so since we're no longer together, obviously I went ahead and I found these two for $3, and I'm very excited for them. I know from my understanding, or from what I remember, this follows a main character who by accident kills Death, and as a result of killing Death, he now must himself become Death. And I am very excited to read these. I know that Reagan has read these, and I know that Sana has read these. Reagan from Priest Projects and Sana from Inkbones Books. I'm very excited to read these books, and hopefully I will be able to pick up the next 3 books in the series so I can complete it. Next, I have a very exciting book, and this will be exciting for you that like adult literature, and it's going to be The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, in my last book haul, I hauled The Golden Finch, and so I saw this one when I was at a used bookstore, and this happens to be a 1996 edition of this book, so it is tall, and it does not, and it's not shorter, and it does not have the black spine. I feel like the black spine makes them look like arcs. So when I saw this one in pretty much perfect condition from being from 1996 with no broken spine, I got really excited. On top of that, this book cost $6.50, and I had storage credit, so it only cost me $3 for a book by an author who's only writes one book every 10 years. So I'm really, really excited to read this. I was going to read The Goldfinch next month, but Max from Well Done Books recommended reading The Secret History first, because he says that he's heard that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to be reading The Secret History next month, and I'm very excited to do so. Next 2 books are going to be The Magicians and The Magician's King, both by Lev Grossman. So I saw The Magician's King at Barnes and Noble. They had it for $6, and I know I said I was going to get the box set, but the box set's $52, so I saw this for $6, and I went ahead and picked it up. So I picked this one up. I was really excited about it. It's a hardcover edition. It is beautiful. So I came home and I was like, well crap, what am I gonna do? I need to get the first book. So I went on Amazon and I went to their used section, and I ended up hoping for the best, and I bought a copy of The Magician's used. This was only $4. It is not in the greatest condition of all time, however it is good enough for me. I am really, really excited to read this. I've heard that it got magic in it, and that the main character is not likable, and it is very dark, and Lindsay from Lindsay Ray loves it, and I really trust Lindsay's opinion, so I can't wait to read this, and I will let you guys know my thoughts when I have done so. So next I have the box set of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I owned the other editions of it, but then I saw this one and I went ahead and picked it up. It was $25. It is really, really nice. It has all the new covers on it, and it will be nice for when I decide to go ahead and read these. I went ahead and got rid of the other 4 books in the series. I had the first one, but I lent it to a coworker and she didn't return it, so I was like, well, there's no point in having these other books if I'm not gonna, if I don't have the first. But then I saw this one, and so I just went ahead and gave away the other 4 books. I'm really excited to read this, and I will let you guys know my thoughts when I do so. I can't wait to read this. And then the last book is probably going to be the most exciting book of my entire book haul, and that's going to be this. Now, I know you're looking at this book thinking to yourself, Rachel, you own 5 editions of this book. You saw the movie. You paid extra money to see the movie. You have posters, shirts, bracelets. What in the world do you need a 6th copy of this book for? Well, my friends, this isn't just any copy of The Fault in Our Stars. This is the Spanish edition of the book, or Bajo la Misma Estrella. I am so excited to read this. I want to be reading more books in Spanish. I want to be furthering my Spanish. As much as many of you know, I am bilingual, so I have been wanting to read a book in Spanish, and finally I have my first fiction book in Spanish. I will probably be doing a book to movie or a book to book adaptation video on this, specifically noting any differences between the Bajo la Misma Estrella and The Fault in Our Stars. If there's any differences, because I have never read a book from one language and then read it in another. But I am very, very excited to read this again and fall in love with Augustus and Hazel again, and Isaac, and just I'm just so excited. Ugh. So yes, those are my billion books that I got this month. If you guys have read any of them, please let me know. I would love to know your thoughts down below. And if you guys have any recommendations for me, I am always welcome to any recommendations. Also, this is like a shameless plug, but I just wanted to go ahead and mention this. I am now a Book Depository affiliate, so I'm going to be leaving down below a link to my my Book Depository store, I guess you could say. So if you guys are interested in purchasing any of these books, if you use the link down below, I get a small percentage of it that goes towards helping me with my channel. I want to get a new camera. Of course, this is completely, you do not have to. I'm just letting you know it is available if you need a way to buy books. But other than that, thanks you guys so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!